What if there was a way to make guaranteed profit in the MLB? And I'm not talking about arbitrage betting. I'm actually talking about a certain play, a certain bet where you can actually nearly guarantee yourself a profit. Well, that's what I'm going to go over with you guys in this video and show you the 4 easy steps on how you're going to be able to come up with that. Now, the bet that we're going to be focusing on is going to be team totals. Okay, so what that means is that's the amount of runs that the team single-handedly is going to score in a game. Now, the average number that you usually see at your sports book for a line on this, depending on which team it is usually anywhere between 3.5 and 4.5. But that's not what we're going to be looking at. We're going to be looking at the alternate team total over 1.5. Now, again, this bet is available for everybody, okay, whether it's legal in your states or not. One of the biggest areas you could find this bet is going to be on Kalshi, okay, which everybody has access to. Now, you can also find this bet as well on, okay, and there's like 3 or 4 other sports books that are main sports books along with DraftKings where you can find this bet as well. But now let's get into the 4 steps of how you're going to actually find this play here, where it's going to actually equal and filter down to a 90% win rate. Let's get to our first step. Okay, step 1 is going to be we want to find teams in runs per game and also home runs per game. So essentially what we're looking for here is you're looking for some of the best teams in the league. That's pretty much what it's going to be, because if they're top 10 in runs per game and home runs per game, then they put up numbers, and for sure they should have a decent record. Okay, they should be a pretty good team. So we need these 2 filters to line up though. Okay, they have to be top 10 in runs per game and top 10 in home runs per game. If one of them is top 10 in runs per game, but the other stat they're not in top 10, then we scratch it. That's not a team we're looking at. They must be correlated. Okay, they have to have top 10 in runs per game and home runs per game, not one or the other. Remember that. That's key. Next is going to be the matchup. Okay, the matchup that we're going. Step 2 is all about the matchup. We need to find the correct matchup for this to line up to give us the best shot at them being able to at least score 2 runs in a game. So the opposing pitcher that they're facing needs to have an ERA of 4.0 or more. Okay, 4.0 or above. That's what their earned run average needs to be, the opposing pitcher that they're going against. Now, in correlation with the ERA for the opposing pitcher, their home run rate per 9 innings needs to be 1.4 or greater. This means they're susceptible to giving up a home run, which is the biggest area literally that could make you win in one swing of the bat, because one swing of the bat with 1 man on base gives you 2 runs and then bam, you won just like that. Okay, so we want a pitcher that's ERA lackluster and tends to give up the home run ball. Now, if you guys want to find this information, and the simplest way to find this information is by using the Linemaker AI. Okay, all you got to do is ask which pitchers give up the most home runs, the home run rate, which pitchers have the worst ERA, and it'll literally just pop it up within seconds for you. If you guys want to use the Linemaker AI and you want a free trial for that, make sure you guys click the link in the description. Now let's get to the second half of the matchup here, okay? Because obviously through the first half of the game, they're going to be facing this pitcher, but they're also going to be playing against the bullpen as well. So what we want to look at as well is the ERA for the bullpen. And what we want for the ERA for the bullpen is to be bottom 10, okay? So we want a pretty bad bullpen here. Reason why is because even if somehow this pitcher comes out, even with the matchup, and he just felt like throwing a gem that day, and maybe he only gives up 1 run, we still want to be able to tag some runs here with the bullpen. So we want bottom 10 for ERA in the bullpen. Now again, you can find all this information on separate websites. It's going to take you hours, but you can use the Linemaker AI and get all this stuff within seconds. So like I said, click the link in the description if you guys want the free trial for the Linemaker AI so you can implement all these strategies that I teach you and get the answer within seconds. Now let's go ahead and get to step 3. Step 3 is going to be the ballpark factor. So we essentially want to be in a ballpark that's hitter friendly because we want the team to score at least 2 runs. So we need to be able to find the ballpark factor that we're playing in and make sure that the overall for that ballpark is 100, the rating. 100 rate or above, okay? Anything below that is going to be a no-go. We're not going to play in there. And this is one stat that goes overlooked a lot in baseball. The ballpark plays a huge role in how many runs are going to be scored in a game, because there's some ballparks where it's just nearly impossible to get runs in. And when you just even have a pitcher that's lackluster in there, they still could just pitch halfway decent and have a great game. So the ballpark factor is one of the most important steps of this. Now I'm going to throw a quick screenshot up of using the Linemaker AI so you guys can kind of see exactly what the ballpark factor is and what it looks like. Now, as you can see in the screenshot, there's about 17 ballparks that fit this criteria here, being 100 or above. Now let's go ahead and get to the last step where this is all going to make sense. All right, step 4 is going to be the true probability now compared to the implied, and where we're going to find our edge. Because now I know what you're thinking. If you just go randomly and you go look up the team total over 1.5, you're going to see some crazy odds. And there's a reason why. Because most of these teams that are in this sector that we're filtering right here are going to be teams that hit the ball pretty good. Now, what I'm going to use for example is, let's just say the Dodgers, okay? It's always a good example to use. The Dodgers just overall on the season, in 89% of their games, have went over 1.5 runs. Now, when you apply the filters that I just taught you, okay? When you apply those filters, they've went over this number 100% of the time. That's with the filters applied. Now the odds that you might find on this play when the filters, when they all correlate, are pretty high. You're going to find minus 700, minus 800. You're going to find it in that realm. But what that's going to do is that's going to create an implied probability for you from anywhere from 86% up to 90%. But when you put the filters on that I just showed you, you can literally find teams that are nearly guaranteed to end up actually going over that number of 1.5 runs. So your edge could be anywhere from plus 3% all the way up to plus 14%. Now the crazy thing here is that this isn't a player prop. So when you see 100% come through, this doesn't mean like, oh, if somebody gets hurt, like nothing's ever 100%, because if somebody gets hurt, then you're not going to be able to, have the opportunity to get that. That's not how it's going to work here, because the whole team can't get hurt. Put it that way. The whole team can't get hurt to where nobody can play. So that doesn't come into play like a player prop does. Here, you get a 100% mark on a certain team. It's pretty much guaranteed money. It's just how much money are you willing to put down to be able to recoup some. Yeah, you're not going to win a crazy amount of money back, but would you rather have a sure thing, or would you rather gamble and guess? That's where it's actually going to test you at. When you follow this strategy that I just showed you for MLB, you're literally going to be able to just print free money. Now, of these steps that I showed you, you could go and singly input this stuff throughout all different websites and find, probably in about an hour or two, you'll be able to find which team goes through all those filters. But if you want to accelerate that and you just want the answer within seconds, all you got to do is start your free trial with the Linemaker AI. And use the Linemaker AI, put in the filters, and it'll literally spit out in seconds which team has the highest probability of going over 1.5 runs. It completely automates the whole system, so you don't have to manually go and do the work, because I used to have to do that for years upon years, and I know it is a pain and it takes a lot of time. But that's why I developed the Linemaker AI, so that way it makes everything accelerated, fast, and you can get about your day and get your bets in. As always, I'm Frank from Linemaker Sports. I'll see you guys in the next video. Till then,